And actually, I went to the preview of your exhibition here in Beijing, and I was greeted by the first exhibit, the wish tree.
Oh, great.
And I've seen some Chinese trees too, the three friends of winter.
The wish trees were all over outside. It was beautiful.
Absolutely. And did you choose the three friends of winter specifically for this exhibition in Beijing? The Chinese trees.
What I liked about it was that the wish tree had free, letter free in it. So good.
Do you also choose trees of different countries wherever you bring this project?
Yes, it's really amazing. I didn't think so, but this piece, this work, is one of the most talked about work and what people like of my work.
Well, the wish tree and the golden ladders and both projects, both exhibits, feature interactions with the visitors.
Well, you see, the thing is, wish tree, I did it in so many places, and now there's millions of people sending their wish tree wishes to Imagine Peace Tower in Iceland.
Our land is still whole with wisdom and wealth. It brims with energy, beauty, and health. 3 billion of us dreaming together. It's time for action. Action is peace.
But the golden ladder is something that I made specially for Beijing.
The golden ladders, but also involve quite a lot of interaction. You're also inviting visitors to bring their own ladders.
But it's an audience participation piece. But this has not been done before. I just wanted to make something special for Beijing.
Why golden ladders?
Golden ladders is what people are imagining. It's great to have golden ladder, It's like a diamond ring that the woman likes very much, supposedly. But for men, diamond ring, well, it's not that exciting. But a golden ladder, he's going to climb up into a high position that is gold. So he would like that, So I'm saying to many men, but women as well, make your own golden ladder. And they will make a golden ladder, probably a tiny one or big one, I don't know. But then I'm saying, this golden ladder that you made is going to be your future.
Well, all these projects, they seem to be quite open, involving all the interaction. But how important in your projects?
I think it's very important because up to then, people were looking at an artwork on a pedestal. And you can't touch it, you just look, oh, beautiful. But it's to admire the beauty of the work only, But now I'm saying, add your thing. And I said, could I add me? Yes, you should add your thing. And so it's a totally different game.
Are you not worried about the risk of losing control of your own work?
Well, yes, I'm an artist too. So in the beginning, when I thought of this idea, I thought, oh, okay, people are going to touch my work. Oh, please don't touch it. That's how I felt. And I thought, well, if I'm not happy about it, it's a very good work. So I insisted on doing it.
So you're not worried about that at all, the risk?
Well, I'm human and I'm an artist. So sometimes I think, what am I doing? But it became so big. And the whole world now knows that we are all together. And so for that price, I will endure.
She's an enigma, darling of the New York art scene and widow of the world's most pivotal rock star. When an unknown artist, she stole the heart of John Lennon and in the 30 years since has perplexed and shocked the Western world. Meet Yoko Ono, artist, musician and peace campaigner.
If you put your music and your artistic work together, and where do you think the two would share some common ground?
The common ground is that they are incredibly revolutionary and new.
Lennon once described her as the world's most famous unknown artist. Everyone knows her name, but no one knows what she actually does, and that still rings true today.
You're pretty much overshadowed by people around you, by
Oh, yes, around me. It's all right. You know what? Because I get a little rest, Like it's like sitting underneath a beautiful tree, and the shadow is created, and I feel cooler in the summer.
you're the shelter.
It's good that way.
Through Golden Ladders, her first ever solo exhibition in China, we catch up with the artist to find out more about the real Yoko Ono.
I don't care what you say. My voice is real.
Another highlight of the show is To See the Sky, a shaky, spiral ladder that takes people on a hopeful journey to the light, but accompanied by uncertainty and danger.
This installation is called To See the Sky, and the message is the journey to the light is accompanied by danger. Well, in other words, according to my understanding, nothing can be achieved that easily. It's a bit shaky upstairs, but I was fine. Totally fine.
The piece was first shown earlier this year at New York's Museum of Modern Art, but it was painted black then, as opposed to Ono's ideal color of blue.
To See the Sky is also a new exhibit that was first presented
To See
at
the Sky
MoMA.
was originally shown in MoMA.
Yeah.
But so this is the second time. But for some reason, they did an incredible job. I must say that it was a little bit better than MoMA. And the thing is, I think that's because we're all Asians, and we have Asian blood in us, and we have the sensitivity that we know that belongs to us. And it's very, very good that I really discovered that. This step to the sky, To See the Sky, really makes you feel like you're already part of the sky because of the way it is. And that's what these people did. Namely Emma. But
Exactly. I've noticed it's blue here, but at MoMA it was black, insisted by MoMA at the time.
it was supposed to be navy, but I didn't think it was navy. I wanted blue. I kept saying, please make it blue. But for some reason they couldn't.
I mean, what I'm saying is basically for some studios they would just follow. There was respect actually the choice of the artists, but like MoMA, because this is MoMA, it seems they have quite some bargaining power.
Yes, MoMA.
So how do you see this? I mean, when do you withhold your own stand, say this is yes my work, I want it to be the way I want it to be, but in cases like with MoMA, you're willing, you're happy to make compromises.
Okay, it's not a compromise in my case particularly because I already said you can add a piece. You can add a piece to my work. And that was like being very humble, And I thought that was good, it's part of it.
At MoMA, you also attended the Modern Sky Festival, music festival attended by many modern Chinese rock musicians. How was that experience?
Oh, isn't that great? What happened was the Chinese organizer asked me to join, and I thought it was so beautiful because all of us Japanese have a kind of a situation that we learned from China, and it was very, very important in our lives. I learned from China when I was not even a teenager, And whenever I have a cold, I used to have a cold, and I'm in bed, I ask my servant to get me the book, Sangokshi. Sangokshi means three country.
The Romance of Three Kingdoms.
Yeah. And I thought, that's very interesting. And I was not interested in violence and killing. I was interested in the way the king's mind works. You know, and I'm the king now. And the thing that I do, the very difficult things. And I always remember what I learned from Sangokshi. Also, there's a book called Sayuki, West.
Journey to the West.
And it's a beautiful, beautiful story, but very kind of symbolic too. You know, each person symbolizes something in our soul. And but the most interesting thing about it is that it's a comedy. And Chinese had a comedic idea. Now that did not go down in Japan or all the other Asian countries or the West. They're not that sophisticated kind of comedian. And so it's very good to know that in China, they already had comedy. That's big.
You're pretty much overshadowed by people around you,
Oh yes, around me.
How do you take that?
It's all right. You know why? Because I get a little rest, you know. Like it's like sitting underneath a beautiful tree, and the shadow is created, and I feel cooler in the summer.
You're at the shelter.
It's good that way.
What about John Lennon's power? You've been,
Now, John Lennon's power, he didn't make me write this and write that. He was just so interested in my work. And so that helped me a lot, you know, as a person. But also, John Lennon's power in the society did help me.
If you put your music and your artistic work together, and where do you think the two would share some common ground?
The common ground is that they are incredibly revolutionary and new.
Culture Express. See the world in color.
Born in Tokyo in 1933, Ono moved twice to the US during childhood to follow her father's banking work. She lived through the 1945 firebombing of Tokyo. Later, she returned to New York, where she embraced the bohemian art scene. Her work spans a whole range of media from music, film and writing to performance, painting, installation and sculpture. She began making films in the 1960s and contributed substantially to the avant-garde genre. By that time, she was already an established artist playing an active role in the world of music, best known for her primal scream and high-pitched wailing.
I came here so that you can hear the voice of a woman.
She became part of a group known as Fluxes, whose artists were dedicated to challenging conventional definitions in the fine arts and conventional relationships between artwork and viewer. Yoko continued to make films through the early 1970s, many in collaboration with her Lennon. The most known, Bed In, made in 1969, is the filming of the peace event they staged on their honeymoon. Throughout her versatile career, Ono has stretched the limits of what society views as acceptable and never ceases to create an opportunity for the viewer to step back and reflect.
Some people say you're a great artist, but at the same time you're the most well-known, but at the same time unknown artist to many people. John Lennon says things like that too. And people are also saying in different stages of your career, you're pretty much overshadowed by people around you.
Oh yes, around me.
How do you take that?
It's all right. You know why? Because I get a little rest, you know. It's like sitting underneath a beautiful tree, and the shadow is created, and I feel cooler in the summer.
You're at the shelter.
It's good that way.
It's all right. What about John Lennon?
I mean, that's why I'm still alive.
What about John Lennon's power? You've been, you know.
Yeah, John Lennon's power. I think, you know, he didn't make me write this and write that. He was just so interested in my work, and so that helped me a lot, you know, as a person. But also, John Lennon's power in the society did help me.
In a way to make you more influential?
Well, no, it didn't make me too popular. That's for sure. But, well, for instance, there are times that I couldn't get any job
without
because
his
nobody
help.
nobody was giving me a job. I mean, just recently too, I did a Glastonbury festival, and people hated it. Some people hated it because I was against the oil companies. So the oil companies made me go down. I thought, my God, I'm so glad that I have a roof over my head. Otherwise, what am I going to do? I would be a street woman, you know. So the fact that I'm not a street woman is a lot of help from my husband.
So were you trying to step out of his shadow after 1980, or are you still doing that?
I love the fact that I am partly in the shadow of John. So I'm trying to keep continuing his work. You notice that I'm doing that as well. And I'm doing mine too. I think I have still more time in terms of my work. So I'm not really worried about it.
Love is real. Real is love. Love is feeling. Feeling love. Love is wanting.
If you put your music and your artistic work together, and where do you think the two would share some common ground?
The common ground is that they are incredibly revolutionary and new.
Yoko Ono, a plastic
That's
Ono
Ono
band.
Because I realized that for Sean, it means his dad and his mom. So it's a very sentimental thing.
Do you also have plans to publish your own, say, biography? You mean the stories? You can't stay 100% true to those
I
stories.
have to be in a position where I can write it instead of covering it up, you know.
Culture Express. See the world in color.
Throughout her versatile career, Ono has stretched the limits of what society views as acceptable and never ceases to create an opportunity for the viewer to step back and reflect.
Do you still take the Asian culture, Asian philosophy now into your art creation these days?
Well, not necessarily. In other words, I'm not intentionally doing that. It's in my blood. It's in my soul, probably, but I don't avoid that either. But of course, I don't avoid German, Nietzsche, and all that too. It's very good to have that. Jung, you know, they have incredible philosophy, and that comes into my work too. I feel that my work is almost like a consensus of the world.
Different cultures of the world.
The world culture. Yeah.
You being a musician yourself, I mean, if you put your music and your artistic work together, and where do you think the two would share some common ground?
The common ground is that they are incredibly revolutionary and new. That's all. And in art, I did this thing about participation, which is really getting into a step further of art. And in music, I created a sound that they never associated with women's voice. And also, well, never associated with women or men's voice. It was too violent. You know, they preferred something like Cliff Richard or Paul McCartney, very kind of sweet songs. But I went further into the human nature. The 12th tone is where the harmonics stopped in a way, but I went further. So harmonically, rhythmically, and with the quality of the sound, all new.
All new. Now, talking about that, I mean, we've also noticed that sometimes you would choose to bring some old pieces back to the modern times, like cut piece you've done for a few times. It was in.
Well, you know, I didn't stop people from doing it because at the time when I did the cut piece, it was very scary in a way, but people didn't understand it. People didn't understand the real message. So I'm hoping that now maybe people will understand a little.
You've also chosen to redo your sounds, like that song, Every Man Has a Woman Who Loves Him, and now you've changed that to Every Man Has a Man Who Loves Him.
No, I didn't change it, I added.
You added.
Just like the society's adding it.
So basically, you know, the society is evolving, you're also evolving. And what about this? I mean, what is the thread of your art creation, either in sounds and music or in contemporary art, that remain unchanged in the past decades?
Well, I'm not really trying to change in a way that everything is different. I just like to do what I feel like doing. And so sometimes, you know, sometimes I do something very old-fashioned. And it's interesting that way too.
And you also had your band revived in 2009, the
I know.
Yoko Ono, a plastic
Ono
Ono
band.
band.
Well, you see, I wasn't going to do it. And my son called me one day and said, Mommy, is it all right if we use the word plastic Ono band? Could we get the plastic Ono band out again? I said, oh, why do you want to do that, my God? I said, well, if you want to do it, you can do it. Because I realized that for Sean, it means his dad and his mom. So it's a very sentimental thing.
And I've also noticed at this time you are also bringing this book, Great Fruit. What are the messages in this book that are still so important today?
Well, it's an incredible creativity that is shown in originality, and it is mostly fun. When you read one of them, you say, oh, you laugh about it. Maybe subconsciously I got that from China.
And they still hold value until today, even
Yes,
after
yes,
50 years. Do you also have plans to publish your own, say, biography? Do you have plans on that?
Oh, because everybody's asking it. I'm sure you know. They say, why don't you do your biography? Well, it's very difficult for me because, you know, so many people would complain too. As you know, people around me.
You mean the stories? You can't stay 100% true to those
I
stories?
have to be in a position where I can write it instead of covering it up, you know. So I'm waiting.
Still waiting for the right moment?
Yes.
Okay, we look forward to that, to
Thank
your
you.
biography.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time.
It was nice
Thank
meeting you.
You
Thank
too.
you.
Thank you.
Goodbye, goodbye. I don't need you anymore. I wet my pillow every night, but now